Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to another edition of It Takes Two with myself, Bilal Ali Hugh, and my co-host, Sister Ruby Soa. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This week we're joined by Sayyid Muhammad Musawi. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Good to see
Bless
you.
you.
This is a program where we try to explore the challenges that occur in marriage, naturally occur, and try to help you come up with some solutions to address these challenges. We'll jump straight into the first scenario to, as always, make the best use of time. This is quite a meaty and slightly complicated letter, but we'll see. We'll do our best, inshallah. It reads, "Dear It Takes Two, Mutah in general is discreet. However, if a father does Mutah with a woman unbeknown to his son, that woman for life cannot have any type of physical intercourse with the son. As the son is unknown of his father's relations and then he completes Mutah with the same woman, what is the ruling on this and or the discreetness of Mutah? What if he has a child with the woman and the son also has a child with the woman too? What happens when they find out? Is it instant divorce regarding the son?" And it's from an anonymous viewer in the UK.
I think that's one of, just before the say it starts, I think one of the issues that we have with Mutah is the fact that it's discreet. You don't have to announce it, but it can cause these type of issues.
Yep.
It can cause these type of issues, and I don't even know, it's something the Said could answer. If somebody is going into another Mutah, do they have to tell the person who they were in a Mutah before with or not? Because what if a situation like this arises?
Of course, I mean the female who got married with the father should know that this is his son.
But how
And
would
she
you
is
know?
not allowed to marry the father and the son. I mean,
But unless she does not, if she
She
doesn't
should-
know that that's his father.
So she lives in one place,
Mhm.
let's just say Norwich, for example,
Mhm.
and the father's in London and the father commutes to Norwich, and then the son for some reason commutes to Norwich. How would she know? I mean, they might have the same last name, but they might not exactly look the same. How these situations, or another country even. What
Okay.
would you do?
Okay, usually what is expected that Mut'ah marriage is a marriage. And anyone who wants to get married to anyone, he should know about him and her. So this is expected. I don't say it is compulsory.
Yeah.
But this case is more or less theoretical. It can be also same. If someone has got his own sister, but not sister from mother and father, no, sister who had milk from the same woman, same lady.
Same wet nurse, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, both of them become brothers and sisters in milk. We call them rida'i. Rida' means the blood, the milk feeding, the breastfeeding. So if someone got married with a female without knowing that when they were children both of them were breastfed by one woman for 2 weeks or for 24 hours continuously, and they have children, the minute they know the fact, there is no need for divorce, because there is no marriage to terminate.
Okay.
The marriage itself was not proper.
Null and void. Yeah.
Yeah, so it is immediately void and nil as soon as they discover that fact.
Just to just to add something in. What if they've had children first and then they discover that there was this situation? What happens to the child? Does it go to the
Children
mom,
remain-
the dad? Does the father have to maintain the child? What are the rulings?
The father remains responsible to maintain the children.
Mhm.
No harm on the children at all, but the father and mother are brother and sister. They cannot live
Continue.
as spouse.
Yeah, yeah.
Subhanallah.
Okay.
They can live as brother and sister, same place, but not spouse. So they don't need divorce because no marriage.
None existed in the first place.
It was, we call it what shubha, means a marriage by mistake, by misunderstanding. Misunderstanding.
But the sister answered, asked us an important question about the discreetness of Mutah, and if somebody is going to marry somebody else, do they have to know about the, like in this scenario, would she
So
have
do
to know
you
about
need
the
to
dad?
come and say, well, I've been in 5 Mutahs. Who were they?
No.
Do you
It's
do
for
you have
even
to
a
do
man
that?
to say I was in
No,
10 Mutahs,
no,
she was in
no,
5, we got.
No,
How does it work?
no. It is not at all compulsory, nor recommended.
But that it goes
Okay.
back to this problem though, because what
No.
if the sister doesn't know?
No,
Mm-hmm.
I mean I see that the sister,
Mm.
the female, who had a mut'a marriage with the father,
Mm.
at least from his face, she would know that at least this young man looks like him, maybe, okay, from his name, surname, family name. Yet I don't say it is compulsory.
Mm-hmm.
If it happens, like brother and sister by breastfeeding got married together without knowing that they are brother and sister, and then when they discover everything
Null
goes
and void.
into its place.
It may not be likely, but it is possible because of, especially probably in this day and time, in the sense of travel, so people can travel to different parts of
Okay.
the world, or people are of mixed heritage. So somebody white has a marriage with an African lady, and then they have a child. So that child may look African, but so you would never think that their dad is white, for example, or something
Whatever,
like this.
whatever.
Just
Whatever. And when they discover the child remains the son of his father, the father remains responsible to spend on the child. But there is no marriage between the son and the female, the lady who was once upon a time his father's.
his father's ex-wife,
Wife.
you could say. Yeah, yeah.
Does she have a right to then go and tell her second husband, who is her second husband, that
The son, she should tell the son.
that she was in a Mutah with the dad once she finds out?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Not right. Duty.
Okay.
Must. When she comes to know that this young man is son of her ex-husband, it becomes haram on her to deal with him as a husband.
Okay.
He is her step-son. The second husband is her stepson. Means son of her ex.
Yeah, yeah.
So no hijab between her and him,
Okay.
and no marriage.
Okay.
No marriage.
But in your on the last episode, you said, say she's with the son, so could she show her hair to her ex-husband, who is the man's father?
Okay. Now, if the
But the marriage is null and void.
no, because
But the
if
father.
the time of the marriage with the father is over, then she is no more his wife.
Okay, so as soon as she finds out, it's finished, null and void, and of course she has to tell. It's very complicated.
very-
She has
No,
to tell
and,
the children.
and the young man does not need her to wear hijab in front of him, because always every wife of the father, every wife of the father becomes mahram for all his sons. Even if the marriage between the father and the lady
Mm-hmm.
lasted for 1 hour or 1 day or 1 year or whatever, if the marriage was being implemented, then all the sons of the father became permanently mahram for this female, and no hijab. No hijab at all
No
between.
hijab.
She does not need hijab in front of all his sons. And of course, same, she cannot marry any of them.
Say that. I
Didn't know
have a
that.
question.
Subhanallah.
Generally, when you know, where women have children, the children, if the marriage is, you know, different cultures, marriage don't work out, they break down. The children often stay in the custody of the mum, at least when they're certain ages. So people most of the time know their brothers and sisters on their mother's side, because the women tend to have the babies physically with them, or the children with them. But oftentimes men can have children and then move to a new town, a new city, a new country, create a new life. Is there a duty, a response? Is there responsibility? Like, is it just good manners? Is it wajib? Is it not wajib for men to let their children know if they, you know, have different
I have
children
a wife
from different,
here,
you know, different
and
marriages,
these are
whether
the
they're
children.
whether it's ex-marriages or ongoing wives or ongoing children. There's some kind of responsibility.
You see, it is not obligatory unless if there is a possibility of male and female to know each other and have an affair or relationship. So he should tell them that you have got sisters. Your sister is in, for example, in Manchester. Her name is so-and-so, or her age is so-and-so. Just in case. The son should know that he has got sisters. Why? To avoid unwanted...
And wives, maybe.
Pardon?
And wives, maybe.
Wives depends, because sometimes some men need to have a wife for any reason. But if they disclose that, their present wife will be disturbed and her life will be difficult. In this case,
And his life will be difficult too, maybe.
of course, and life of the children will be difficult. So it is not advisable. Of course, I personally don't encourage anyone to have more than one wife at all. Even in Quran. In Quran, clearly, that there is a condition. Those who are unable to fulfill the condition are not allowed more than one wife. Lot of people don't fulfill the condition, yet they go for more than one wife, which makes them and their wives and their children suffer. Only those who can fulfill the condition, which is practical justice. Practical justice. Those who are able to practice the justice, and those who need another wife to save themselves from falling into haram. For example, someone travels a lot. He lives in a city and works in another city, and he spends a lot of time there, and he wants to save himself. He wants to save himself from falling into a sinful act. In this case, yes, it is not haram if he is able to maintain the practical justice, but he does not need to tell his first wife and make her unhappy and cry and make the life of the family, in difficulty.
But this would be an act of modesty, right?
Modest.
For the man to, if he was fearing for his religion, so he...
You know how I feel about that.
No?
Praying for his religion. I think, as the Sayyid said, for a lot of sisters, this causes problems and it causes suspicion. I think if, as best as you can. If you're going to do anything, try and keep it as open as possible,
Mm-hmm.
because it causes situations like this.
Mm-hmm.
We know, well, I'm thinking it's theoretical, but it can cause more problems. You could be in the masjid sitting to someone and you don't know that person who's bouncing the child on their lap is your husband's child.
Yeah.
And there's been so many situations where I've seen and heard, you've gone to a funeral and there's 3 different families there with 3 different children. You've never seen these people in your life. And then you find out there that this person had another family. And, you know, women are sensitive, you know, it's
Is that
difficult.
does that encourage? That's a good point that the sister makes. That, you know, I mean, a man could have a wife that his first wife doesn't know about, but she may find out in a difficult situation because he's passed away, for example, and I don't know, the will needs to be sorted out, or people come
Or
to
you're
the
at the
funeral,
funeral and people
Yeah,
are saying,
but
who is that?
it's
That's
a
my
secret
dad.
family,
Like,
yeah.
subhanallah, what?
But
No, he's
we
my
are
dad. No, he's my dad.
certain
Exactly.
possibilities. But when he knows that if he informs his wife that he needs, because he works somewhere far away, and he needs a wife there
Mhm.
to save himself from
Sure.
sinful act,
Sure.
that information will make her life difficult. As many of our sisters nowadays, when she comes to know that her husband is thinking, she will be disturbed. And her life will be miserable, and the life of the children, life of the husband, the whole family will disturb.
Yeah.
So it is
yeah.
more advisable to avoid such situation.
Okay.
But in Islam, we have got the will, wasiyah. Everyone is highly recommended to write his will. Every responsible Muslim should write in his will all duties on him, all rights on him, and what he has on others. That should explain everything.
So I had a question. Supposing you're planning to get married, and then can you put in your contract that I do not want my husband to have any mutahs?
Yes,
Can
please.
you say
Yes,
that?
you can.
Okay.
Yes,
And then
you
if
can.
he breaks it, then you have a right to divorce, correct?
You can, if you make it a part of the contract of marriage. You know, the wife or the female has got right to put any condition.
Even if you're in a mutah, you can say during this time while you're in a mutah with me, I do not want you to be in any other mutahs.
Which is up because Mutah is marriage.
Yeah, okay.
Mutah is marriage. So she can say that while you are in Mutah with me, you promise, that you will not have Mutah with anyone else.
Okay.
If he agrees, and that condition comes within the Mutah agreement, contract, then it becomes binding. If she says, while we are in Mutah marriage, you should not leave this city. You should not leave me alone for more than so and so days. You should look after my expenses. Though in Mutah marriage, usually the expenses are not the responsibility of the husband.
Yes.
In the permanent marriage, the expenses is his responsibility. But in Mutah marriage, no, unless she puts a condition.
Okay.
Stipulates.
The condition should be, you see, within the contract, not out of the contract. You know, the condition can be with the contract, it can be out of the contract. Means after the contract, they had the Mutah marriage, then she said, don't do so and so, or you must do so and so. That's a condition, but out of the contract. The condition which is within the contract has got strong effect, and if he does not fulfill it, then he will be responsible.
So, but for example, a man having more than one wife is a right.
More than
It's-
one wife.
Yeah, it's a right. It's his right. So
Not his right if he cannot fulfill the conditions.
yeah, but theoretically, potentially, it's his right.
If he can fulfill the conditions.
Yeah. So, is it okay to contract to give up your rights in general? So, for example, in a permanent marriage, it's the lady's right for her husband to maintain her. They could agree, like he doesn't need to maintain, or something like she can give that right up, or something like this.
No, I mean he is willingly
Uh-huh.
accepting a condition.
Okay.
He is willingly accepting condition. He also can put condition on her
Mhm.
that as far as you are my wife, you are not allowed to go to so and so places.
Okay.
But it should not harm her relatives' relation. I
Mhm.
mean, he cannot say that don't go to your mother, don't go to your sister. No, that's haram
Mhm.
because that cuts the ties with the relatives. But he can say, as far as you are my wife, I don't allow you to go to the gym.
Oh dear.
You can.
That's too far though.
No, you
that's
see,
that's
I
too
mean-
far. That's the.
Yeah. No, you can tell her that you can play sports at home. I buy for you all what you need.
DVD.
But whatever.
Type.
But
TBD.
so condition is condition.
Mhm.
As far as the condition itself is not unlawful. Not unlawful.
Mhm.
No one can put condition. For example, she says that I agree to be your wife with the condition that I don't wear hijab.
Okay. Okay.
This condition is invalid because it's haram. To be without hijab for the female
Mhm.
is haram.
Mhm.
So any condition which is itself haram is invalid. But if she puts condition that I agree to be your wife with the condition that you don't marry anyone as far as I'm your wife,
Mhm.
and he accepts, it becomes binding on him.
See, as you saw Sayed, as Brother Bilal said, as soon as you said there's a condition for Mutah or not to have polygamy, a lot of the brothers start to panic, as he said, you know, a lot of brothers feel that it is their right.
Mhm.
And when you said to be fair and just, can you be fair to everybody? What a lot of brothers will tell you is that it's like children. You can't be the same to all your children, but you do love them. This is what I hear a lot of brothers say, and you've heard it too. Every person has a different place in their heart. So to a lot of brothers, they think they're being fair because they get to do what they want to do, which is have more than one wife. So what advice would you give those type of brothers?
You see, the feeling, of course, is different. No one can force his heart to feel the same for two different persons. Okay, that is something practical. It's not a condition.
Mhm.
The condition which allows the man to have more than one wife is to deal with both of them exactly in the same way.
So by way of action.
Action, which we call it practical justice.
Mhm.
Practical justice. Equality in practice. If he is unable to do the same, let him love A more than B. That is in his heart. But he cannot treat A in a better way than treating B.
But isn't that the way you see things? So, for example, I could see A has a house, I have my own house that he isn't paying for, C has children, I don't have children, A has 4 children. How do you measure practical?
Whatever he
Good question.
does
Mhm.
for any of his permanent wives, permanent, he must do the same to other permanent wives. He spends on A, say, £100, he should spend 100 on B. He brings gift for A for £50, he should also bring gift for £50 for B, like that. Treatment should be equal. That is the justice, which is a condition without which wahida, only one wife, without implementing this condition of the practical justice, only one wife.
Then why do you have some brothers, sorry, that have one permanent wife and 3 mutahs then? But they know that they can't be fair, but they have 3 mutahs and 1 permanent wife. Why do you have that then?
We should ask them.
And a lot of the time it's scholars, you know, they have 1 wife and then 2.
They
two-
travel.
So do wives. They get on buses now
You-
and
you
trains
see-
and aeroplanes and...
I can say that those who need to save themselves from haram,
Okay.
to save themselves from haram, of course, Allah has kept this option of temporary marriage, mut'ah marriage,
Mhm.
for this reason, to save men and women. And in the hadith, إنما جعلت المتعة لهن, the most beneficiaries of the mut'ah marriage are those females who are unable to get permanent marriage. The man is more able to search for a wife, less than the female
Mm.
Can be
who
more
has
difficult.
no husband,
Yeah, yeah.
divorced,
True.
It's true.
widowed, and
Not
didn't
just
marry,
the-
whatever. So mut'ah marriage is a mercy from Allah to save people from falling in the sinful act. That's why Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali alayhi salam said, لولا تحريم عمر للمتعة ما زنى إلا شفي. If Umar did not ban mut'ah marriage, no one will commit the sin of fornication, but only very few among Muslims.
Mm.
So it is a way to save people from haram. You asked me that some people have wife, with the wife, a mut'ah wife. Maybe they find this way the way to keep themselves safe from
No.
falling into sinful fact.
Okay. All right.
Not covered there, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you
God
for your
bless
wise
you.
words. Thank you for your time, and thank you also, Sister
Thank you.
Ruby. And thank you all for staying with us for the duration of this very intriguing episode of It Takes Two, and hope to see you next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah ta'ala wa barakatuh.